Original story. I literally have no goddamn clue on how to say it, but my life basically turned upside down in the last 2 months. I'm 48. Ex-military man turned a small business owner. Had served in the military for a quarter of life, not obviously US. My wife is 44 and we have 2 daughters aged 23 and 17 respectively. I'm basically new to Reddit and a friend suggested me this to get it off my chest and get advices. In fact, he's the one typing this out. Here it goes. August 16th. I go to hiking for a week with 6 of my veteran friends. We served in army together. When I return on August 22nd, I sensed something was off between my wife and daughter 23. 23 is a computer programmer and lives separate in the city while we live in the outskirt of another city. She comes to visit us on weekends. While my other daughter, 17, is working as a part teacher at her grandmother's, my wife's mom town, which is around 7 kilometers from here. So my wife gets the day to herself. 23 asked to take me out for a coffee and catch up, where she decided to nuke me that my wife is cheating. She literally caught her mom making out at a car right in front of our house, saw it from a distance. I didn't believe her and straight away told her she was lying. That's when she told me she didn't believe either and logged into her mom's social accounts, more like broke into, and showed me the text strings. It had been going on for a long time. It wasn't a one-time thing. They were collage crushes. It was going on at a straight point for 9 years while I was in the military, and he came over whenever I was outside, either for military or for work purpose. What was more disgusting is she gave a spare key to him without asking me. Yes, you read that right. There were all sorts of things that consists of a man's nightmare. Nudes. They both confessing how much they love each other. Badmouthing me. Role plays, and she even confessed she'd let him do things she refused to me. Onto my part. I'm not a saint either. I was horrible. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and anger management issues. But I coped up with it via therapists. Working out and in a better position now. We had our ups and downs in life, but never did I verbally abuse her or raised my hand. But it was her who used to verbally abuse me. Right in front of our daughters. I was shaken when I saw this. My body went cold and numb. Whatever feelings I had went out instantly, as if I was just born. I didn't have anything to say. My daughter and I had a talk. She eventually cried and told me I was the best parent to her. She loves me, and if I chose to divorce, she will be at my side. My daughter herself was cheated on a few years ago in her first relationship. Since then she didn't believe in relationship, and now another truck hit her. I'm proud even after this. She was strong and adjusted her composure. She accepted that her mother cheated, and it's a huge deal. She didn't beg me to not divorce, but rather she told me if I do, she will support me. I asked who the guy was. Turns out, the guy is a mechanic who also smuggles goods and drugs from black market. He served jail time twice for 2 years and 4 years. I was always decisive and straightforward in life, but I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I asked my daughter. She told me I should take time and see a therapist to decide if I want to divorce her. Then confront both her and AP affair partner. I guess this is correct? To end things and set things right. When I went home, I felt absolutely nothing. I was disgusted by the sight of my wife. No love or hate. It was as if she's a different person I never knew at all. 2 weeks go by. I tell my friends. They told me about a lot of stories where a military man/woman commits suicide because they found their partner was cheating on them the whole time. They also suggested I get a paternity test just in case. I never knew how much infidelity was common in the military. As told, I conclude a paternity test and it fucking changed my life. 23 is my daughter. But 17 is not. I was shattered by this and eventually locked myself at a friend's house. I didn't eat. Didn't slept. I wasn't sane. I started drinking regularly then. Going out was often common for me. Wife never doubted. This went on a few days. October 3rd. I meet up with some friends. One of them was a police officer. And I told them I wanted to talk to a fair partner and know the full story to make a final decision. They volunteered to come with me, but I went alone. I got his number from the garage and found him in a bar. It was owned by younger brother of a veteran friend of mine. I see a fair partner and asked him if he knew me. That guy was skinny. He looked like he didn't eat well for months. He looked me right in the eye and told May was there with 3 of his friends that I'm the guy whose wife loves him up more than me and there was nothing I could do. Folks, I tried to be cool. I really did. This hit my nerve. But still I told him I wanted to discuss things with him. Things took a turn when he began to make remarks about my wife and it turned to verbal abuses when I lost it. He pulled a gun on me. Being in the military, I knew how to disarm him. I threw him right across the bar. There were 4 of my friends too. I didn't notice they followed me here. One of them was police. One was the brother of the bar owner. One was my best friend note veteran, another one was another veteran friend. They calmed the situation and tried to pull me away from AP. I did bad to AP. He ended up being admitted in the hospital eventually. No charges were pressed against me as I was ex-military. A lieutenant in the police department witnessed what happened as well as the entire bar and CCTV. He concluded I acted in self-defense and he will handle this. My wife got to know about this 2 days later and she exploded. Called me brutal names. Abusive right in front of our daughters who came to spend the weekend with us. She told me I destroyed her life and I should have been in the hospital in place of him. She told me straight away she wanted a divorce. I don't know why, but something did changed in me. I wasn't angry with her. I wasn't in love with her. I was the disgusted or hated her. It felt she was just a different person. My daughters took my side but she abused them too. I was quiet the whole time while they argued. I've seen men die. I've seen horrible things I'd not wish men to see, but to see your own family breaking up like this right in front of your eyes is one of the most brutal things. I told my wife to leave my house right now or it would be messy. She eventually leaves. Her mother called me and tried to blame on me everything. I told her the reason I did what I did and sent her a picture of paternity test. That hit her and she apologized. Both my daughter faced a huge impact. 17 still doesn't know this but 23 does. I told her I won't be treating 17 any different cause she is my daughter regardless. I love my daughters. October 19th was when she showed up with divorced papers. We are getting divorced. I'm pushing for full custody right now. Affair partner is facing criminal charges for smuggling and possession of unauthorized weapon. I honestly have my times. I don't know how to express what I feel anymore. It's as if I'm numb. Literally. TDLR. Been married for 29 years. Wife cheated in most of them with a guy while I was in the military. My younger daughter isn't mine. I confronted affair partner and he ended up in hospital. When wife found this out, she blew up and is wanting to divorce. Story 2. Husband helping ex without telling me. Before we were married just over 10 years ago, my husband was in an on/off relationship with a woman, let's call her Michelle. He stopped seeing her once we started dating. But she would still call occasionally. He would always politely reject her. He let her know that he was in a committed relationship. In a couple of months, she stopped texting and calling. I admit that I checked his phone a few times and went through his texts. But all the texts were things he already told me. I kept expecting to find out he was cheating on me. But each text conversation they had, she would flirt, ask him out, and he would say no. He told her he moved on. And that he wished her the best. And hoped they could be friends. It was one of the things that made me love him. He was so honest with me and understanding even when I was going a bit crazy and paranoid when we first got serious. He never gave me any reason to doubt him. He made me feel so safe. 2 weeks ago, I went through my husband's messages for the first time in years. And I found months of messages between him and Michelle. It turns out that things didn't go well for her at all. She became a single mom. Has been through a series of abusive relationships. She's been stalked by her child's father. Hasn't been able to hold down a job for more than a few months at a time. And she's close to losing custody of her son. She's been evicted from apartments for non-payment. Has multiple credit cards and collections. Etc. She's a mess. And he's been helping her. He helped her work out a budget. He co-signed a loan to help her pay off her credit cards. He helped her find an attorney and lent her the retainer. And kept her from getting kicked out of her apartment. He hired a PI to gather info on her stalker. And he even intervened at her last job when her manager tried to fire her for missing work for a court date. Just from his messages. He's supportive of her, he tells her that she doesn't deserve what she's been through. That she needs to keep fighting. And that he'll keep helping her as long as she holds herself together. His messages never turn sexual. But she keeps asking him to go away with her on a weekend. Or inviting him to stay at her place some night. He either declines or just ignores those messages. And I know he spent every night with me for the past 10 years. I didn't know much about Michelle except for what I could find in his messages. But she was friends with some of his buddies. And I've been racking my brain trying to remember what they told me about her 10 years ago. But all I can recall is the feeling of her being a threat and that I had to win him away from her. I read all the messages on his phone from her. And I went from being confused and angry with my husband to feeling terribly sorry for her. I don't know what to do with this now that I know. He's never given me any reason to think that he's cheated. But he also never hid anything like this from me. I'm not even really angry about the money he spent on the lawyer and private investigator, he makes good money. So it's not going to hurt us. But I just don't know how to approach him about this. Story 3. My F29 so M28 admittedly flirted with a mutual friend and I'd what to think. My husband of 3 years. Partner of 9 just admitted to me he has been sending flirtatious texts to a mutual friend of ours. Here's some background. Never any problems in our relationship sans the normal disagreements here and there. No cheating. No trust issues, not from my side at least. And no big can't get over types of things. He has always shown me and continues to show me 100% that he loves me with his whole heart and I am first. Mutual friend is one of our closest girlfriends and married to one of our closest guy friends. They are currently beginning the divorce process for a myriad of reasons. Both of them cheating on each other being the main. Let's name them Summer and Kyle. During a gathering, Kyle accuses my so of flirting with Summer, but not until Kyle goes quiet and unfriendly for an hour. Leaves. And then gets home. So and I laugh it off because so thinks Summer is disgusting/trashy and would never. So, rewind to 2 months ago after that incident. I guess my so and Summer decide to teach Kyle a lesson by actually starting to flirt. Kind of like you said I did it and punished me for it when I didn't. So now I'm gonna do it anyway. I didn't know any of this was happening. Tonight I get a text from Kyle saying, hey, please call me when you have a second and preferably alone. My thoughts immediately go to WTF? Because we haven't seen this guy in 2 months and he normally communicates with my so. I tell my so this and he says yes. You need to call him. It's about Summer. I respond, I don't care what they've got going on. It's their own deal. He then breaks down and tells me that Kyle is about to admit everything to me because Kyle caught Summer texting with my so and I just saw red. Apparently shirtless good morning texts from him and how is your day this and that's. How could he jeopardize our healthy relationship just to get revenge at Kyle? I explained to my so that he just proved to Kyle exactly what he was trying to prove he wasn't. I also explained to him that I am utterly disgusted and disappointed in his selfishness. Just to get back at a friend. You damage our relationship's foundation and our family, we have a one yo. I'm not leaving him as nothing physical happened, he said so far. But this is in complete shock, so if that comes out I guess I'd be the same shocked all over again, and the motivation behind this wasn't to get Summer but to get back at Kyle. I can't get past the selfishness. He also told me she touched his leg underneath the table at our house. That really set me the fuck off. I know I just said nothing physical but... I'd who else to talk to about this, as all our friends are mutual and I don't want to damage his relationships with other people. I really don't give a fuck if he sees this because he's an idiot and he should know it. Sorry it got more convoluted towards the end. I'm rambling now. Edit, we just talked and he told me it was a month-long affair, which is what I'm calling it because he cheated. That fucking asshole cheated on me, where he would send her videos of him walking around the house in his underwear asking how her day is going and she would say he's looking good. I can't even deal with the rage towards my friend right now because I need to stay sane for my baby and my husband already has me at my tipping point. I kicked him out of the room. I'm so sad.
Thank you for watching.